This is Chris Gardelman
and Brooke Gruenberg.
Welcome to our show, Tales.
It's about anything and everything with a tail.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris Gardelman. Unfortunately, I'm by myself today. Brooke just isn't up to coming in. Hopefully next week she'll be here, but we're thinking of you, Brooke. In the meantime, like I said, I'm here by myself, and today we're going to be welcoming Jamie Kroll from Luv-N-Bunns Rabbit Rescue here in Pennsylvania. But before we speak to Jamie, I've got some interesting information about various animals. Well, things that fly, things with tails. Houseflies don't allow their short lifespans, which is only 14 days, how sad, to hinder their musical abilities. They always hum in the key of F. I don't know if you've ever heard that. I know I've seen flies every once in a while now that summer's here. And yeah, I'm going to have to get a little closer and see what they're doing here. Ostriches can run faster than horses, and the male ostriches can roar like lions. This is scary. Fleas can jump up to 200 times their height. That's equivalent to a man jumping the Empire State Building in New York. And this one's from my daughter, Anna. A cat has 32 muscles in each ear. All the better for them to eavesdrop on your conversations and plot your demise. So be nice to Pixie, Anna. Remember that. Don't try this at home. But a snail can grow back a new eye if it loses one. You can tell a turtle's gender by the noise it makes. Males grunt and females hiss. Now, I had that issue because I have a red-eared slider, and for 20-some-odd years, we thought it was Herman, but then she started to hiss, and I realized it was a female, so we had to name her Hermione. Hummingbirds are the only birds that can fly backwards, and their wings can beat at up to 80 times per second. I don't understand why a bird would fly backwards in the first place, but okay, whatever. And beware of an ant uprising. There are 1 million ants for every human in the world. These resilient creatures also never sleep and do not have lungs. Creepy. Okay. So, Jamie, thank you so much for calling in today to Tell Tales.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, Jamie, tell us about your rabbit rescue.
So we are a nonprofit rabbit rescue out of the Philadelphia area. We take in abandoned, neglected, unwanted rabbits, get them healthy, and help find them forever homes.
Okay. So why rabbits? Why did you decide to work with rabbits and not, let's say, cats or dogs or, the usual? Do you have rabbits at home, or did you have them when you were a child?
I have rabbits at home. I got my first rabbit about 11 years ago. I went into a pet store for turtle food, and I saw this little girl bunny that was kind of beat up. She was in a pen with others who she wasn't getting along with, and she had some bite marks on her ears, and I just kind of took her home with me that day because I saw what was happening, and ever since then I've been hooked.
Aw. That's nice. That's a nice story. So what is it that you do specifically at the Rabbit Rescue?
I do a lot of different things. I handle most of the technical stuff, the social media, our online shop. I also foster. Right now I have a little girl I'm fostering named Riley. She had a rough life. She was bounced around between a bunch of rescues, and we actually pulled her off of a list. She was going to be euthanized.
Oh.
And she had multiple surgeries for dental issues, and right now we're trying to get her healthy. She has an abscess in her cheek, so she's been going for weekly treatment. So I'm fostering her, and I also help with some of the event planning and fundraising. Okay,
great. So, Jamie, tell our listeners something most people don't know about rabbits.
So, they're actually the third most common house pet, and they should live inside just like a cat would. You can litter train them after you get them spayed or neutered. Use a litter box. You pretty much just have to bunny-proof your house. Make sure there's no cords they can chew on. And rabbits can actually live up to 10 years. Many live more than that. I have a little boy bunny named Yoshi, and he will be turning 9 in July. I've had him since he was a baby.
Oh my gosh.
So with proper care, they actually can live long lives, and they are great companions.
Wow. Okay. So tell me, I've always wanted to know, what's the difference between a hare and a rabbit? Uh-oh.
They are totally different.
Are they? Are they? Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and just like the wild rabbits you see running around your backyard, they aren't even similar to domestic rabbits. I mean, you don't see domestic rabbits running around in the little lop-eared bunnies running around in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
They are completely different. They can't even breed together if they tried.
Oh, wow. All right. That's interesting. So, is your organization the go-to place for rabbits? Like, does the SPCA, if they get let's say a hoarder with a bunch of rabbits, do they call you?
We work with other rescues in the area. We work closely with the Delaware House Rabbit Society, New York SPCA. You know, we all kind of work together. We are the main one in our area, but we definitely work with some of the others.
Oh, okay, good. Are rabbits difficult to take care of? Are they very time consuming? You know, I mean.
Yeah, that's the thing. Around this time of year, one of the biggest problems we have is Easter rabbits. People get them for their kids thinking it's going to be so easy, you know, they're cute. But rabbits actually need a lot of room for exercise. Most of the food you see in the pet store isn't even good for them, the ones with the little colorful pieces. Some of the diet really should be like Timothy hay or orchard grass. They need an exotic vet. They can't go to like a regular vet like a dog or cat would, so their vet bills are expensive. Mm-hmm. And if they're an exotic, if they need surgery or anything, it gets pretty pricey. So, you know, when you get a rabbit, you really need to research it to make sure you're ready for the commitment and you can afford it.
Wow, now that's interesting because you said they can't go to a regular vet; they'd have to go to an exotic specialist vet. And yet they're the third most common household pets. You would think that more vets would take care of rabbits because there would be so many more people that would have them. That's interesting. Wow.
Okay. Well, more vets are starting to come around and do them. We actually out in our area have quite a few that are good with rabbits, but some of the smaller towns that don't have as many, you know, veterinary centers don't really have rabbit savvy vets. Okay.
Before I forget, Jamie, can you please give our listeners your website and email address so they know?
Oh, sure. Our website is www.Luv-N-Bunns.org, Luv-N-Bunns.org. And our president is Liz McNeil, so any questions or requests can actually go to her, and her email address is LizzieMcNeil@hotmail.com. And if you go to our website, the email address is on there. Okay,
great. Thank you very much. You know, you always hear the statement about breeding like a couple of rabbits. Why is that? Do rabbits have a lot of babies when they have baby bunnies? Do they have quite a few of them, or is the gestation period really short?
It's not necessarily that they have large litters, it's that they have many litters. They reproduce very quickly, and we definitely push for spaying and neutering. We don't let any rabbits out of our care until they're spayed or neutered because of that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there are so many rabbits in need that we really do not support breeding them. Mm-hmm. There are so many in rescues that need homes. But, yeah, they breed very often.
Yeah, well, I would guess so. So, are rabbits lone? I'm going to say lonely, but are they lone animals? Are they better off being by themselves, or do they want companionship? Do they want another rabbit to keep them company?
Oh, they definitely like companionship. The only thing is you have to be careful. You can't just put two random rabbits together and assume they'll get along, because they are very territorial, so it takes them a while to warm up to each other. So you kind of have to go through a proper bonding method. We call them dates. Take them on short dates together to get to know each other before you actually throw them together to live together. Uh-huh. But once they're bonded, they bond for life. And when one passes, the other actually mourns their loss and gets really depressed. So they really love that companionship. Oh, okay. So I guess if you're interested in getting two rabbits rather than having to go through that hassle, if you could find, because I noticed on your website you did have bonded pairs, so that would be a good deal. Get two of them that are already bonded. You don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to get along. Yeah. lot of people who have one rabbit, and they reach out to us, and we help them with bonding and trying to get a partner for that rabbit.
Okay. It's so cute, though. I did look on your website, and some of those rabbits are absolutely adorable. Oh my gosh. And there are so many. How many different types? There are quite a few different types of bunnies, correct? Because they have this lion head and Dutch, and how many
Yeah,
are there?
I don't know the actual count, but there are many. I mean, you have the Lop, the Flemish Giant, the Rat Lion Head, Dutch. There's many.
So, unlike a dog, so you've got, let's say, a Cocker Spaniel and a Bichon. They could mate and make a whatever they do. So, other bunnies, I mean, all different types of bunnies can mate. Is that the deal?
Yeah. Yep. We just brought in a bunch of bunnies around Valentine's Day from a hoarding situation, and they were Dutch and lion heads. So they had the Dutch look, but they had all the long hair between the ears like a lion head. So they were really adorable. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that we see.
How many? Your rescue, is it an actual physical rescue where you have these bunnies out somewhere, or are they all fostered?
We run out of volunteers and foster homes, so we have many fosters across the area. One girl has like 20 in her house right now, all over the place. Some people just dedicate their whole home to bunny pens to foster for us.
Wow. Okay. So if you have a bunny, and can you keep the bunny in the house by itself, or do you, like when you go out, do you have to put it in the cage or crate or whatever it is that you keep the bunny in?
It's definitely possible. I have one, my Yoshi, that I mentioned earlier. He's almost 9 years old, and he just kind of does his own thing and runs wherever he wants. He doesn't chew. He uses the litter box. It's just like having another cat in the house. But then I have another pair, and they are chewers and diggers, so I kind of have to bunny-proof their area because I know they'll tear my carpet up or chew through boards. So it really depends on the bunny that you have, but it's definitely possible.
Okay. So, all right. So you mentioned that they use the litter box, because I think that was always an issue. You see bunnies and they just kind of lead a trail of bunny poo around. So they will learn to use the litter box and not go all over the house. Do you have to train them to do that, or are they kind of like cats? And you know how a cat, you just give them a litter box and all of a sudden they know how to use it.
So usually that are going all over the place are not spayed or neutered. Once they're spayed or neutered, they're usually very clean. They don't feel the need to mark their territory, and they just kind of go in one spot. So it's really easy once they're spayed or neutered.
Oh, I didn't know that. You learn something new every day. Wow. Okay, good. Now I had heard that, of course, rabbits are very domesticated. So if somebody had a rabbit that, let's say, they couldn't take care of anymore and they were too lazy to bring it to a rescue, you should never, ever just let it go out and be free, because being free is not going to be a good thing for a rabbit, correct?
Correct. That's actually one of the worst things you could do. I mean, there are predators out there. There are parasites they could get. They're not the same as wild rabbits, so they don't have the instincts that the wild rabbits would have. They don't know how to survive out there. So they're not going to survive if you set them free. Okay.
Do rabbits make noise? Can't say I've ever heard a noisy little rabbit. Do they?
They can. My Yoshi, I keep going back to him. I love him. He is my grumpy old man. If I pick him up, he's moaning and cranky and making cranky, grumpy noises. Mm-hmm. Some of them squeak when they eat. But that's pretty much it. It's not like a cat meowing or a dog barking. But they do make those noises, and they do what we call tooth purring when they're really happy, where they'll grind their teeth together and you hear the grinding.
Ooh. So like nails on a blackboard? Okay. Do they get along with other animals? Like, let's say if you have a cat or a dog, is it that the dog or cat has to get used to the bunny, or the bunny has to get used to the dog or cat, or that just doesn't work in general?
It depends. It's possible. I have a Maine Coon cat and Yoshi, and they are inseparable. They always snuggle together. They grow up together. They love each other. Aww. So he is actually bonded to her. Uh-huh. But really have to be careful with it because, you know, a cat's natural instinct is to go after them.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Do they need vaccinations like dogs?
In our country, they do not.
I'm sorry, what did you say, hon? In our culture?
Some country, they do not.
Oh, okay.
Out in Australia and some of the other areas, there are, they actually release diseases to get rid of all the wild rabbits, so you do need to get them vaccinated out there, but we don't have that issue here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So what would you say to a parent who's thinking, oh, I'm going to get my kid this cute, soft, cuddly rabbit? What would you say the preparations they would need to do before they actually got the rabbit? And, yeah, what would you say to somebody?
I'd just say don't do it. I mean, you don't know, can you really say your kid is ready for a 10-year commitment?
Yeah.
They are very high maintenance, very expensive. They're just really not good animals for kids.
So it's actually like an adult animal, I would imagine,
yeah.
Correct? Yes. Okay.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Mm-hmm. And do most of them stay in crates? Is that something that you would recommend, that you would get, I don't know, a crate for? I see them sometimes, and they're in these small crates, and they just look very uncomfortable. They don't look like they have much room. Does a rabbit need a large amount of room to get around?
They do. Outdoor hutches are one of the worst things because not only can they not move, but they have the heat, they die of heat stroke, they could get parasites. So that is just a big no-no. We do not want people doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be inside, but they should also have enough room to stretch their legs, take a few hops, stand up if they want to. So we usually use S-pens, or they're just free range. So S-pens are just large exercise pens made for dogs.
Uh-huh.
So those are what we really recommend. And then most of us actually build our own pens out of they're little storage units, storage cubes you can get on Amazon, and you can build them into whatever you want. And a lot of us just make pens that way. That way we can make them big enough for the rabbit to run around.
Oh, okay. So what kind of temperature range can a rabbit tolerate? I'm assuming there aren't many people that have rabbits outside in Alaska. So what is their temperature range? Can they tolerate cold temperatures? Can they tolerate very warm temperaters? Or
the tolerance is better than heat is very bad for them. I'd say never let it get above, definitely not above 80 for them, because they have the fur, and if they're a little chubbier, they just can't handle it. If it is hot, you want to give them ice water bottles to lay against, cold tiles. I keep ceramic tiles all over my apartment. That way they can lay on them whenever they want to. They stay cooler than the carpet does.
Mm-hmm.
But in the cold, even though they can tolerate the cold, you don't want them in extreme cold.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
whatever. If you feel like you'd be uncomfortable in that temperature, the rabbit's going to be uncomfortable.
Okay. So, and what do rabbits eat? Are they? I'm assuming it's varied. You can buy commercially made rabbit food, and then you supplement it with veggies and things.
The number hay, you want them to have 80% Timothy hay, orchard grass. If it's a baby, we're going to eat alfalfa, but you don't want to give alfalfa to an adult.
Oh, why? Why is that?
Alfalfa just it's not the same as other hays, and it'll fatten them up. It's higher in stuff that you don't want the adults having.
Okay.
They'll get too fat and they could get sick.
Oh, kind of like a diet of chocolate bars, maybe.
I call it baby food for bunnies. But we'll give it to adult ones who need to, put some meat on their bones or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And
you want high quality pellets. You don't want that stuff you buy, at Walmart that has all the colorful stuff in it. You want pellets that are made of Timothy hay. So if you can find Oxbow or Sherwood Forest, those brands are awesome, and those are what we always recommend.
Okay.
And then pellets, we don't even give that many. When we do give pellets, it's mainly hay, and then we give them salads of romaine lettuce, green leaf lettuce, parsley, cilantro.
Oh, Really? Okay. And well, how much? I mean, do they eat? Are they like cats that'll just kind of eat whatever they want, or are they like dogs that will devour? If you put 4 pounds of food in there, they're going to eat 4 pounds of food. Or does it depend on the bunny?
It depends on their personality.
Oh,
I
okay.
have Nemo, I call my chunky monkey. If it's in front of him, it's going to be eaten within a minute. But then Yoshi, I can leave it out all day long, and he'll just nibble as he wants. So it really just depends on their personality.
Mm-hmm. So should a person adopt a bunny rather than buy a bunny? Is it basically the same as cats and dogs? Adopt, don't buy.
Right, because if you're buying from a pet store, you're usually just supporting a breeder, and we really don't want people doing that. We want them to rescue the ones that are out there that need homes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think the rescues don't have babies and they don't have the ones that, are lovable, but it's really not true. We have so many good bunnies here that just, it's a shame they just don't have a forever home right now.
So if somebody was interested in adopting a bunny and they went onto your website, and my gosh, there are so many cute ones there, they fill in an application, I'm assuming, and do you do a home check like of dogs or cats or?
Yeah, I mean, check it out to make sure that they are going to a good home. We want them to know that they're not going to be outside, that there is space inside for them. If they rent, we want to make sure that the landlord allows it and they aren't going to be, kicked out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you get are there many people? I know that there are people that have quite a few dogs or cats when it comes into that whole just too many animals in one home, a whole hoarder situation. Do you get many situations where there are bunny hoarders?
We would never adopt out to a situation where we thought that was the case, but we have rescued from those situations. That big issue that we call them our blizzard bunnies. We took in a lot in February. It was an outdoor boarding situation.
Oh.
We actually joined with the Delaware House Rabbit Society and took in a lot of rabbits from that situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I read that on your website that I think as of the beginning of April, you had 60 adoptions. So
we have a lot more. Last time I checked, we were at 108, and that was in the middle of May, so we are well over that. So
right.
This is definitely going to be our most successful year.
Excellent. That's terrific. And do you now? Is it from word of mouth mostly, or people going onto your website? How do people know about you?
Mostly word of mouth. We're big on social media. We have a lot of people come to us. Find out about us on Facebook, and then it refers them to our website. Really, it's the power of the internet.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So, Jamie, tell me, what kind of a person gets a bunny as opposed to a dog or a cat? Do they kind of fall into a certain category?
Not really. I mean, there is a bunny breed to fit your personality. I mean, the locks are so bold and silly and goofy. The lion heads are sweet and gentle. Flemish giants, they're just big, lovable hoops. There's a breed for everybody. And one thing that's really cool about rabbits is they're actually really good for people who suffer from depression and anxiety. They're really good for that.
Oh.
Yeah, so they are a good therapy animal almost in that situation.
I would imagine, because I know that studies have shown that you can lower your blood pressure just by petting a cat or a dog. And I would imagine with a bunny who is so soft, I would imagine you could just feel that blood pressure going down because they just are so soft. And you look at that cute little face with the little nose. Oh my gosh, how could you not?
And especially a lot of times when you rescue a rabbit, it's just like a dog or cat. They know you rescued them. They appreciate it. They love you, and they just look at you with like the "Hi, Mama" eyes.
Very cute, very cute. So the Flemish, what are they called? The Flemish giant? Okay. How big do they get?
I know one of our board members has one that he said is around 18 pounds. They can get pretty big. If you actually go on our website, we have some pictures from our Easter photo event, and we have two bunnies in the pictures in the photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
They're bigger than some of the kids.
Oh my gosh! Well, and I would imagine they probably eat a good amount of food too, right?
Yeah, they're so mellow and laid back. They're sweeties. They're great.
So I would imagine, as you had mentioned, that right after Easter is probably the worst time for you, or worst, best, or worst, I suppose, because people buying bunnies, because it's kind of like the chicks, they're buying bunnies at Easter, and then after a month or so, they find out that, oh, wow, that's way too much work for me, and they decide to give them up. Is that when you get the majority of your people coming in with rabbits that they no longer want after Easter, after about a month, I guess?
Yeah. This time of year, we have three big issues. First is people trying to get Easter bunnies from us, so we kind of have to screen them a little better than we normally would. And then second is, oh, I got this rabbit for Easter, didn't realize how much work it was, or I got it as a present and I didn't want it. You really should do your research before buying, rescuing any pet, really.
Mm-hmm.
They're a lot of work. Don't just give it to somebody assuming they want it.
Yeah, sure. Craigslist. Probably find them there. So I know that you had written, when I had asked information about your website, and you had said that you're trying to educate the public about the proper care of rabbits, and a lot of people don't realize that they're very intelligent. Do they have, I know with like the little hamsters and things, they've got those little toys or whatever that they play with. Is that what they do? Will they play with toys or things?
I have a couple logic toys for my bunnies. One is stacking cups, just like you'd see a baby use, a human baby, and get a stack of like 5 to 10 cups, tied treats throughout them, and they have to kind of unstack all the cups to get to the treat.
Oh.
And then there's another one where it's the board with 5 little pegs, and you hide treats under the pegs, and they have to pick up all the pegs out of the circles and try to find where the treats are. And mine love doing that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they definitely can be taught, and they understand, and they will get a treat when they figure out what the puzzle is. That's really interesting. Wow. Okay, I wouldn't have thought of that. We only have a few more minutes, Jamie. But before we forget, just again, one more time, if you can give us your website and email again.
So the website is www.luv-nbunns.org, and that's LUVNBUNNS. And then the email address is actually on the website, but it's LizzieMcNeil@hotmail.com. That would go to Liz, our president.
Okay. Now, I know that you have an online shop, and you make a lot of the handmade items that you sell. I know this is going to sound like a weird question, but do bunnies shed? Do they shed?
They shed a lot. Well, it depends on your bunny, but they can shed a lot.
Okay.
A little Chunky Monkey Nemo, I just got a handful off that's about his body size. You need to make sure you groom them. You do not want them ingesting that hair and getting clogged.
Oh.
They actually can't. You know how cats would just have a hairball?
Right.
Bunnies can't do that. So if they would eat all that hair and it gets stuck in them, it's bad.
Oh, wow. So you have to make sure that you brush them every day. And some, I'm assuming, are longer fur than others? Or are they all pretty much shed?
No, it's funny, actually, because I have a lion head, and she has really long, gorgeous hair, and she never sheds. But all of mine with the shorter hair do.
Yeah, I had the same thing with my cats. I had a white, short-haired cat. There was like fur all over the place, and I have 2 long-haired cats now, and you never see any fur anywhere. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't understand. But anyway, we're almost. I think I've got like 1 minute left. So, Jamie, before we leave, tell me, what message would you like to leave with our listeners today?
Stop, don't shop, and do your research before adopting a pet.
True, as in having any pets, absolutely. So I thank you very, very much, Jamie, for calling in today, and lots of luck with those bunnies. And listeners, go on to that website. Oh my gosh, when do you see those bunnies? They're so adorable. So the quote of the day is, if I had $1 for every time my dog made me smile, I would be a millionaire. So this is Chris Gardelman, unfortunately without Brooke today, but hopefully next week she will be here. This is Chris Gardelman for Tail Tales. Thank you so much for calling in, and thank you so much for listening.